everybody, and welcome to our Synergy 3 Wellness Wednesday. Today we're talking about what is in your personal care product and cleaning products. So we are the Synergy 3. My name is Daryl Moss. I am here with my colleagues Stacy Hendry and Lucy Diana. And together our mission is to spread vibrant health and focus on the mind, body, and spirit. So today we're talking about why it's so important to use non-toxic ingredients and what on your skin and what to look for when doing your shopping. And my hope is that everybody will be able to take something away from this that they can use in their own life. And I want to mention that if you're not already muted, please mute yourself, and then we'll open this up for questions in a few minutes. So why the big focus on our skin? Our skin is our biggest organ, and it has its own microbiome, and it is porous. That means whatever goes on you gets absorbed into your body. So a few weeks ago, I did a presentation on the microbiome in the gut, and I wanted to talk today about the microbiome on the skin, because our skin has its own microbiome. And the microbiome on our skin, just like in our digestive tract, is a community of diverse bacteria, viruses, fungi that live on us and live with us. And according to the journal Nature, we have over 1,000 different kinds of bacteria living on our skin. And as I'm sure you've noticed on your own body, different parts of your body, your hair, your nails, your feet, your face, the skin is not the same everywhere. And each separate area of our skin has its own little ecosystem. And research has shown that bacteria on our skin work with our cells and our immune system. They're communicating with each other in our various areas of our skin microbiomes, just like they do in our digestive tract. So it's really important that our skin is healthy and we're not putting anything. So everyday products in your home can be making you sick, and it could be making your family sick. So just like we need to feed ourselves really healthy food and read labels, we need to do the same thing with our skincare and our personal care products. So the average woman is exposed to 168 toxic chemicals every day, and babies are born with over 200 industrial chemicals in their umbilical cord blood. And that's coming from what the mother is eating, what the mother's exposed to, from air, from water, from so many different things. And what's scary is that a lot of the stuff that we like about our products, like the sweet smelling lotions or the heavily lathered shampoos, are really the skin's equivalent of junk and highly processed foods. So many of the chemicals on the market that are commonly used in these different ingredients are dangerous. Sometimes they're carcinogenic and or endocrine disruptors. And I don't want to spend a lot of time here. This isn't the time to focus on politics, but we have a very, very strong chemical lobby in this country. And it's really, we have sort of a backwards way of allowing things on the market. So in Europe, when a chemical company comes up with a new product, it has to be tested and proven safe before it's allowed on the market. Whereas in this country, for the most part, whatever a company wants to use, a chemical company wants to use, it can get put on the market. And until it's proven unsafe, it stays on the market. So just to give you a scary example, when my kids were little, and now they're all in their 20s, but when my kids were little, I, like so many other moms, used that baby pink colored Johnson & Johnson's baby shampoo. And little did I know that Johnson & Johnson's baby shampoo in those days had formaldehyde in it, which was a legal ingredient. And the only reason they changed their recipe for baby shampoo is that there was a massive, massive letter writing campaign from moms around the country to remove formaldehyde. But again, it was perfectly legal for them to have been using it, which is so scary. So one thing that I think is important to understand is that the situation for most of us is that we don't necessarily know what's going in our products and what's going on our bodies. And this is a diagram of showing how we are exposed to so many different kinds of toxic chemicals. And what's scary is that the research that is being done on different toxins the research is done on one toxin at a time. And so the government might say, well, each person can have, X millimeters per thousand or whatever the unit of measurement is, and that's generally recognized as safe. But nobody's measuring the cumulative effect of exposure to a lot of different toxins over time or during the day, as is happening to so many of us. And what goes on inside the body is that when we're exposed to multiple different things that are not good for us, that are toxic or unsafe, the detrimental effect is exponentially worse than from one individual exposure at a time. And unfortunately, nobody's testing the multiple exposure. So something that's really interesting that I find is the concept of greenwashing. And that is when companies use great marketing, really good logos, and certain words, and this goes for food as well as for personal care and cleaning items, to make you or us, the consumers, think that we're buying something that's actually safer or cleaner than it actually is. So all of these are marketed as really safe, clean products. And there are lots more out there. I couldn't put a picture of everything up there, but each one of these, although they might be better, Seventh Generation is probably better than Tide, and Mrs. Meyer's is better than Vaseline brand body lotion. But all of these are, the consumers think that these are really, really clean products. And every single one of these has at least one ingredient in it that's very, very unsafe. So it's really important that we do our due diligence and we read labels and we learn to understand what's in our products. So just to give you a quick example, Seventh Generation has sodium lauryl sulfate in it, which is a lathering agent that's generally recognized as unsafe. Burt's Bees, everybody loves Burt's Bees, and they have products, ingredients in there. So it's really important that you read the labels and you understand what you're buying. And makeup also, companies that we think are really clean have hidden toxins in them. This, all the ladies here might recognize that this is Clinique with their very distinctive packaging, but they've got tons of food dyes that are not safe in there. Proactive has other ingredients that are really unsafe. And how many of us have teenage kids who've been watching those commercials or had teenage kids watching those commercials and using those products? So it's really important to understand. Madison Reed, which is this hair dye company here, advertises on the radio all the time about how safe their products are, but they also include ingredients that I personally wouldn't want to be using on my body. So these are some of the worst offenders out there in terms of ingredients that you really don't want to be using on yourself or in your cleaning products as well. Because remember, whatever you're using in your washing machine or using on your dishes can also be impacting you. So parabens are derived from petroleum, fragrance, which is really scary because that's considered something that's a trade secret. So whatever chemicals are used in a product that lists fragrance in it don't have to be disclosed. And one of the common things that are in fragrances are phthalates, and those have been shown to have an incredible number of side effects, really negative side effects. Triclosan is commonly found in antibacterial products, and that's a whole nother conversation. I don't believe in using antibacterial soaps because we don't want to destroy the bacteria balance in our microbiome on our skin, but it's an endocrine disruptor and has other negative effects. So SLS stands for sodium lauryl sulfate, and I mentioned that a few minutes ago. It's classified as a drug in bubble baths. It can eat away at the skin. And I missed a slide earlier. I have to go back to, there are a whole bunch of products that have this in it, and it's really, it's scary. PEGs also come from petroleum, and they contain a carcinogen called 1,4-dioxane. I just want to go back. I'm sorry. I'm going to show you this slide. These are all really common products that people use all the time in their homes. I mean, I used Dreft when my kids were little. I'm sure we used Pantene every time there was a hair issue when my kids were little. How many of us are using Dawn on our dishes, Crest toothpaste, Tide? So it's really important that you know what you're using, because the companies are not disclosing all this information right on the front where we can see them. Sorry, I missed that one before. Glycol is also derived from petroleum, and talc comes from asbestos. And it wasn't that long ago that there was a big trial about because of women who had gotten ovarian cancer after using talcum powder, and how many of us were using that talcum powder on our babies. So it's very, very scary. It's not normal to just know what all these chemicals are. So we need to do our research, and we really need to understand. So we want to buy clean, and we want to read labels. There are a few companies that I like. There are plenty of good companies out there. I use a lot of stuff from Pure Haven because it's one-stop shopping. I know everything that they sell is non-toxic, preservative-free. Weleda has really good stuff, Nubian Heritage as well. The Environmental Working Group is a website that rates chemical components of things, food and non-food alike. So it's not the be-all and end-all when it comes to cosmetics and personal care products, but it's a good place to start. And they have a segment on their website called Skin Deep, which talks about different ingredients in different products. The Campaign for Safe Cosmetics is also another really good place to look. But again, you need to read your ingredients, and a lot of the things are really hard to understand. So look it up. If you don't know what something is and it sounds scary, you want to know what it is. If it's a food dye, you probably don't want to be putting it on you, just like you don't want to be eating it. So I wanted to show you something interesting. So I am really careful about what I'm personally buying, but my kids are old enough that they buy their own stuff. And I ran out of shampoo a few months ago, and I hadn't reordered. And I ran upstairs to my kids' rooms because they're not here, and I found this shampoo. I hope you guys can see this. So this is, it says on the front, no sulfates, no parabens, and no animal testing. And that's all really important, not to be using any of that stuff in the product. And, Alba Botanica makes it look like it's really safe. But I started getting this incredible itchiness in my head and this horrible rash on my back. And I went to the dermatologist, and they wanted to put me on steroids, which I didn't want to do. And then I said, let me just change my shampoo. I don't know, because my head never itches. And it turns out it was the shampoo. And then I looked at the very fine print, and it also contains ingredients that I shouldn't have been using. So I just wanted to show you a couple things. So from Pure Haven. So this stuff has to be bought online, but one of the reasons I love it is that it contains, if you can see, this is a little bit easier to see, this is the face cream. It contains pre and probiotics to help support the skin microbiome. And we're surrounded by so many harsh chemicals in other places that it's great to use something that's supporting you. This is the eye cream, and it's really thick and luscious, if you can see that. I'll put it on my skin. And they have laundry stuff. So this is instead of using bleach, this is a great spot remover. And they have other things for your skin, for kids to use with acne, etc. So I love their products, and I think if anybody's interested in learning more about it, just let me know. But there are plenty of other good things on the market. You just need to be careful, and you need to do your homework. So next up on our group programs is our Slim Possible Weight Loss Challenge. We are about 3/4 of the way through our first one. People are doing great. They love the food. There's no deprivation, and they're thrilled with all the support that they get. And our next group is starting on May 3rd. It's a 9-week program, and we're ending right at July 4th. And next week, our topic is money-saving tips in the kitchen. So thank you guys all so much for joining us today. And I'm going to just show you, this is our contact information. And we are happy to answer any questions that you guys have. So thank you for listening. I'll stop the share so we can see everybody there. So you can raise your hand if you have a question. And if you have no questions, thank you for coming.
No, wait, Daryl, I'm going to ask you a question. So they have laundry detergent, Pure Haven?
I have a question.
Yeah, they do. They do have laundry detergent. I didn't bring everything up here to show everyone, but they do.
I have a question.
Yes, Sally.
How long should someone keep a mascara or eyeshadow? In other words,
Rose, do you want to? Rose is a cosmetologist. Rose, do you want to answer that question? Rose, you're muted.
Oh, hello. Hi. Mascaras shouldn't be kept for more than 3 months. For sure.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 months max. Well, even if you use it twice, because once you open it, the air gets in it and the bacteria gets in it. So.
Okay.
And then eyeshadows, if they're powders, you can get away with, a year, a little over a year because it's a powder. Creams, again, same thing, 6 months. Once you're a cream eyeshadow. Foundation, 6 months.
They should really sell much smaller containers then, because it's so hard to use it that quickly. But
yeah.
So what happens?
I'm sorry.
What happens if you keep it longer? What's the worst scenario?
You can get an eye infection, very bad one.
Okay.
The bacteria grows in the product because you've had it on your skin or your fingers, and you're putting your fingers into the product, so it gets bacteria.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I did want to say about Pure Haven, the one thing I like about Pure Haven and other companies who are focused on the environment and clean products is that they often become very concentrated. Like they remove the water so that, they're not shipping you water. They're shipping you a super concentrated product, so you need to use a lot less of it. Like the Pure Haven laundry detergent, the scoop is like, if it's a teaspoon, so it's really concentrated is my point. So your shipping cost is lower, and even though the product maybe it looks more expensive than what you're used to buying, but you only have to use a teaspoon, so you have to look at like the number of loads. But I love their, I use their cleanser, Pure Haven, and I like their, they have a, what is it, like anti-aging? It's the tiniest of drop that squirts out and you rub it all over your face. But I think I'm getting younger as the days go on just from that. So. I like it.
Also, they're not selling, these are small in the camera, right? So there are no preservatives in it. So Rose, to your point, things don't last that long. There are no preservatives in these things. And so you're not buying big quantities in each
Right. Thank you.
jar or bottle.
And they have dishwasher liquid, whatever, dishwasher solution also?
I can't remember.
I don't know, because I use a different dishwasher. I haven't tried their dishwasher yet, but I did want to say a couple things. Like Burt's Bees used to be a really good company, I thought, and then it gets bought out by other companies.
Well, that
bought out, so then they're
Clorox.
What's that?
Clorox, I think.
Yeah, it gets bought out by Clorox because Clorox wants a clean product, but then they manipulate it because of a cost issue, and then it's not as clean as it used to be, which is really sad. So, Daryl, the EWG has a environmental working group that Daryl mentioned has an app. Yeah, it's EWG. What is it called? The app? Do you know?
You can go on through the App Store. It's free. It's through the environmental working group, and you can scan when you go to CVS or wherever you buy your stuff, you can scan the barcode, and if they happen to rate that product, they'll tell you how safe it is.
Abby mentioned, I know I've heard about it, but never looked into it, Beauty Counter.
If you could see it, this
Oh, that's
is
the
their
logo.
this is their logo, and this is the app. So it's nice. It has a barcode scanner, like Daryl said, so you could pick up your shampoo and see if there's any risks to what your products are. Maybe they're low risk, so you could continue to buy them. But
So Abby mentioned Beauty Counter. So Beauty Counter sells a bunch of different things. Some are amazing and some also have some questionable ingredients in them.
yeah, they're
Good to
rated
know.
very high, but I've heard that they do some greenwashing from people I know in the clean skincare lines.
Yeah, I want to just find, I had an image that I meant to include. I'm gonna see if I can find, I just want to show you guys something.
I would think lipsticks would be very important to be very clean, especially putting it in our lips and we're eating.
So lipsticks have so many food dyes in them. Oh, here, I want to show this to you guys. Let me see, let me just open it.
What do you use for like a chapstick?
I use Pure Haven's chapstick. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can show the.
I use Dr. I can't even say his name, Washka.
They have great stuff. Can you guys see this sign? This slide?
Yes.
Mhm.
I'm sorry. So Mrs. Myers is owned by S.C. Johnson. Tom's of Maine is bought by Colgate Palmolive, right? So it's, the same thing's happening in the organic food industry, right? The big companies are buying the small.
That's the problem.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show you guys that.
Yeah, so I mean, they buy it because they want to be in that lane. It just, we don't know for sure if they're keeping the, they're keeping the product clean anymore. So you really have to read. And the challenge is that the chemical names are hard.
And some of them are safe. Like you have to know what it is. You have to know what it is. But a lot of lipsticks used to have lead in them. So you really need to be careful. And a lot of them have different food dyes in them that you wouldn't want to be eating, if you in your food. But whatever you.
How were the lipsticks from Pure Haven? And
They're not a makeup company. They might sell one or two lip glosses, but they're really not. They're not a cosmetics company.
Okay.
Who do you use for cosmetics?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't have an answer to that. I was using Pure Haven. I mean, not Pure Haven, Beauty Counter, because Environmental Working Group gives them a high rating. But then I was told that they're not as clean as they say, but they're still probably cleaner than anything else you would get. Like,
Do you know Aveda? Are they any good?
I think, I think with a lot of these companies, it's item by item and you need to read,
Okay.
you read
Okay.
the labels. Dr. Hauschka has pretty good stuff.
Dr. What?
It's Hauschka.
AA. Mhm.
They have pretty good stuff. Yeah, there are plenty of, there's plenty of good stuff out there. You just have to look, you have to look for it.
Mm.
Yeah, I find this to be more of a challenge than food. It's pretty difficult. We don't have as many solutions yet because I haven't found them. So it's just to bring awareness to you that you need to be looking and thinking about what you're putting on your skin. And something like coconut oil, can be used as a body moisturizer, as a hair conditioner, and it's totally clean because it's coconut oil. So yeah, it makes you a little, I don't like to use it in the summer. I use it in the winter because it's colder. So it doesn't feel as greasy on my skin. In the summer, it's a little more greasy, so I don't like it as much. But the more natural products you could find, some people make their own toothpaste with baking soda and some peppermint drops and things like that. So,
and I make my own version of Windex. I bought a spray bottle and I mix water and white vinegar, and there's a lot of stuff that you can make on your own and not have the toxins in your house.
Can we have a webinar on that, Daryl?
Sure.
yeah,
Do it at home. I mean, make it at home. Do it yourself.
Right.
we need to do that.
We'll put that on the list.
Yeah, because apple cider vinegar, most vinegars are really good cleaning products. They kill germs. lemon juice is a good cleaner.
I have a question.
Yes, Nancy.
Does anybody have a root killing agent that they're using, like, let's just say in their driveways? Or, I mean, I'm not obviously going to use Roundup, and I have a terrible problem with dandelion weeds in my driveway, which is made of pebbles. And I'm wondering if anybody has a non-toxic, safe for animals solution.
You know what I do?
So interestingly, my husband accidentally, like, we have a water softener, which is like salt. And he accidentally dumped a bucket of salt water and it killed everything in sight. So then he was like, this is the best weed killer ever. You could just mix salt in water and then pour it around on the driveway. And in like 2-3 days, it kills all the weeds.
Wait a minute, this could be like hugely revolutionary. So what kind of salt?
Well, it was water softener salt, but then I don't know if you could.
Water softener salt.
You can get it.
You probably get it in any hardware store, Home Depot, but you could probably just try some sea salt in a spray bottle. You got to be careful because I don't know if it would clog the spray bottle. Maybe sea salt in a little bucket of water and just try scooping it onto the weeds and see if it works.
If that happens and it works, you guys are sitting on a really serious gold mine.
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
not kidding. You know that weed killers are the #1 pollutants in the country. Lawn products are the #1 pollutants.
Yeah,
So if you're sitting on a solution to get rid of the weeds in my driveway and it's salt and water, you
I
never
wonder
have
how
to
that
work
would do on grass.
Yeah, it will kill the grass also.
Grass, yeah.
Yeah, so you want to really, like, if you could either get a spray bottle or maybe a spouted, a measuring cup with a spout where you could just pour it just on that weed. But I'll ask him when he's not home right now. I'll ask him and
You know, like what the ratio of salt was to the, like, in other words, how many cups of salt in a quart of water?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to get on this, Nancy. I'll email everybody after I get the info.
Stacey, I don't know if the sea salt would be the same because this is solar salt. I don't know if it's different.
I don't know, but if it is, you can buy a bag of solar salt and make water. I'll ask him though, and I have everybody's email. I will send it.
I also, Nancy, you know, in our patio, we have like that little semicircle thing with gravel. And I pour, I boil water in the kettle and I pour it on the dandelions.
Just hot water?
Yeah, boiling
Just
water.
boiling water?
It's not like my whole driveway. Like you couldn't, it's, you know, it's just, you know, a
No,
couple.
that's not going to work because no, but I definitely appreciate everything you're saying and I'm excited.
I'll get back to you, Nancy. I
I
hope I
just-
have this right after getting your hopes
The
up.
best thing ever for me. I drive in my driveway and I'm like, why doesn't anybody else have this problem?
They're using Roundup.
I know.
Yeah, I refuse to use Roundup.
Me
I only
too, and
use
I
it on
don't-
poison ivy. I only use it on poison ivy because I have to win that battle. The poison ivy must go, but
Okay.
Well, thanks. Good conversation.
Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for asking that.
I'm really sorry I missed the beginning of this.
Well, you know where I am, Nancy. So.
I do.
well, it'll be on, I'll post it on our YouTube channel and I usually send out the link at the end, but any of you can go on our YouTube channel and subscribe and then it should pop up as a new,
Okay.
each Wednesday I post whatever the episode was, so you could always
Oh,
find
great.
it.
Good to
Yeah.
know. Okay. Thanks, Stacy.
And Rose, thank you for your input.
Yeah.
All right, you guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Well,
Bye.
well, all